This is a test of the Boundary Park alert system. Hello and welcome to the Boundary Park alert system with me, Matt Dean. He's back from Checkers. How are you?
Honestly, you're a right pair of plonkers, you two, aren't you?
I know,
I've got people coming up to me at games asking me, like, are you a millionaire? I'm like, no.
Well, you can deny it all you like, Andy. But how's it going anyway?
Yeah, well, I'm definitely chipper after yesterday. Yeah. We'll get to that in a minute. I won't ruin it, but yeah, yesterday was a good day out. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I must admit, watching on in envy yesterday because it was floated. It was one of them. We were going to got a free weekend. I was going to go down, and then it just.
I saw your kid.
I know.
He was there.
He's lucky because his partner's parents have got a little crash pad in London. So he took the family down
they're
there.
The millionaires then.
Well, I mean, I can't possibly say on that front, but but he took the boys down and his missus, and then they've gone for the weekend and stuff like that. So I didn't really want to sort of intrude on that. And I've had a nice weekend. It's nice to have a nice sort of weekend off. No gigs, nothing going on. Just chill out, watch the game. Obviously, I flew abroad yesterday afternoon, briefly to watch the game, and then flew back again. Might as well have gone to Sutton, really, when you think about it. But yeah, it was a sunny afternoon. It was a lovely, mild autumnal afternoon up here in Oldham and Manchester, and it looked lovely down there. Did you meet today's guests at the game yesterday? Were they down there?
Well, they tell me they were down there, but I didn't see them. But we took a good 500. I tell you what, yesterday morning when I got up in West London, it was absolutely sheeting it down with rain. It looked like it was going to be a horrendous day. So I packed 3 layers for everyone. And by the end of it, we might as well have been t-shirts and shorts. It was like 20 degrees. Beautiful sunshine. It was great. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah. But no, I didn't see the fan guests. Shall I do the ritual questions?
Yeah, we're saying fan guests because there are 2 for the price of 1 this week. So I don't know. Are we going to double up on the answers then? Might as well.
Yeah, we could double up in the answers. Might as well. Yeah. We'll have to keep it quick fire, I guess. So we don't.
Now I know what you look like, Andy. We'll make sure next time we're at a game where you're going to be there, we'll come and say hello.
Yeah, lovely. No, that'd be good. Yeah, it's great to meet people on as fan guests because then they come and you get to know loads of people and see them on the terrace. Yesterday was great for that. Right, so you heard the voices. Let's do the questions. We've got an older one and a younger one, father and son. So we'll go in age order. When was your first game watching Latics, Dad?
1968. I was 5 years old, and it was the beginning of the season. I'm thinking it was. Well, I know it was Torquay at home. 1968. Stood before the lookers stand, before the forward stand, in the old wooden stand there. So that was my first game, first match of that season, and then, as we all are, hooked for life.
Yeah. And when was your son?
Mine was Carlisle at home, 2009, on the 19th of September.
That wasn't one of those games where we let everyone in for £2 and then got stuffed.
I think we won. I remember looking yesterday, and I think it was either a 1-0 or a 2-1, something like that.
Fair enough. Who was your first favourite player, Dad?
Oh, first favourite player. That would have been Jim Fryatt. Definitely Jim Fryatt. Yeah. And I think you did a pod with his son or his grandson in the last year or two, didn't you? And that was really...
Yeah, he was on the phone in.
Yeah, that's it, on the phone in. Yeah, he was he had some good stories, Jim Fryatt. One of the first ones I remember, either 69 or 70. Diving header, long sideburns, bald head. What a player he was.
Yeah.
Just like Michael Fondop. Yeah.
We'll come to that in a bit. Who's your first favourite player, son?
Probably would be Matt Smith. From what I fully remember, just not a huge amount of it, but just my main memory of him is the Liverpool at home in the FA Cup. Just the pure excitement of having him score against Liverpool, and then a few years later going down to Liverpool where we watched them and didn't win, surprisingly.
Yeah. Well, and from the podcast, everyone's heartfelt condolences out to him right
Definitely,
now.
Yeah,
Wishing him all the
100%.
very
Yeah, that's
best.
terrible news, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely shocking. Yeah. That's thrown me off track. What are my other questions?
Yeah. You've just done favourite players.
Yeah. What's your favourite Latics related memory, Dad?
Oh, when I was thinking about this, amazingly, there were so many. So I'm going to pick one, which is when we beat City 4-1 at Main Road and Roger the Dodger got a hat trick.
Yeah, I was there that day as well. Yeah, I enjoyed that.
Yeah. Amazingly, I was sat in the main stand with a City mate, but I did jump up.
Yeah. What's your favourite Latics related memory, son?
There's a few, but I'm going to try to get it down to two. The Junior Lawamba bicycle kick when we were in the league still at Scunthorpe away.
Yeah.
And probably 5-5 Forest Green at home when there's absolutely no one there.
When we came back from 4-1 down,
4-1 down, how much that at all.
Yeah. And then the final question is for Dad. Tell us a little unknown fact about yourself.
Oh, right. So this one, from the age of 5 to 11, I was a ball boy at Latics. So I got to see lots of games up close, lots of home games. We went to a few away as well. It was a time when the ball boys were pretty much the same ball boys every season for quite a long time. And the last season that I did, aged 11, was when we got promotion in 73-74 season. So that was a really good time. And we used to get changed in the little boot room opposite the players' dressing room. And sometimes they let us go in the dressing room. And even at age 5 to 11, there was a bit of banter. And that you're starstruck at that age, aren't you? So, that was great. That was great.
That must have been great, especially when you've got a decent team as well. Then you're building up towards promotion over those seasons. That's quite enviable, actually. That must have been ace. That
it was great at that age, and we had a few 6-0s that season, so that was brilliant. Yeah,
brilliant.
Awesome.
And what about you, son? What is your a little unknown fact about yourself?
Well, the only thing I could really think of was that currently with Fantasy Premier League, I am in the top 5,000 in the world and top 1,000 in England.
That's pretty good, given how many people play that. Yeah.
I'm about 4 million in the world.
Yeah, I think that's about right. Yeah. So then, introduce yourselves then. So who are you?
My name's Steve Sidge, and this is Daniel Sidge. We're father and son. Sounds like a band, doesn't it? I've been going to Latics since 1968. Hooked by my gramp, who took me then, and been to many, many home matches and quite a few away matches over the years.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. If you come across the people who are listening, some people probably haven't come across the Footballogy app. I think it's called, isn't it? Right? And I'm on it, and I've plugged in. Have you come across it, Matt? Footballogy?
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
So I've plugged in probably, I don't know, 3/4 of the games I've been to by searching programs and what have you. Not all of them, but because I can't remember every single game I've been to over the years. But I've got most of them plugged in, and I'm sitting on around 550 Latics games or 600 Latics games or whatever. But you, Steve Sidge, how many are you on that app?
Oh, yeah, I'm going to have a look now. It's about 1,442. I've just looked it up.
So where are you in the rankings of Latics fans? I think you were in at the top last time I looked.
Yeah, number 4. I'm number 4. And there's a few. When I was a ball boy, we played quite a lot of Lancashire's Senior Cup and Manchester Senior Cup games. And we played teams like Liverpool and City and United. And that was great as well. And I can't remember any of the dates of those, so I haven't put any of those in.
Yeah.
Guy who's above me is on 1,500, so
Who's out in front? Read the top 3 out of Latics fans on the Footballogy app in front of you. There can't be many.
Paul Whitehead.
Yeah, well, we know who he is.
2,395.
Wow.
I think he's been to the under-8 games as well. Gary Davis, infamous for something a few years
Yeah.
1,926, and then Dave Hudson, 1,534. I'm not sure. I know.
Don't know Dave Hudson, but if you're listening, Dave, we want you on the podcast as fan guest.
Yeah, absolutely. And we should. Who's the other guest here that we've got? We met Steve.
So my name's Daniel. Going since, like I said before, going since 2009, and really just fell in love with the club, as you have done yourself. I've just loved every minute that I've been supporting Oldham for, even though it's just been all downhill. But yeah.
Well, I mean, clearly, you had no choice in the matter because Dad is very much steeped in Latics history, and I'm sure you would have been very upset, Steve, if Daniel had decided to either support someone else or not be into football at all.
Well, it's really good that he is, and so glad you didn't go to the dark side or any of the dark sides.
Yeah. Exactly. And it's harder than ever at this stage. But it's like you said, though, earlier on when you talked about 68 and going to that game. Like, if you go to the games when you're young, you do get hooked on it. It's all about being at the game. That's why it's really important to take your kids and their friends and all that kind of stuff into the stadium early on, because regardless of the results, sometimes, I mean, it does help if you're winning, but kids get hooked on it. They love it. They love the whole experience. So you took your kids there yesterday, Andy, did you?
Yeah, I had both my kids there. I even managed to take one of my pals from me who's a Tottenham fan, and he brought his lad. So there were 5 of us all congregate together, and they had a good day out as well.
Yeah, and did you travel? Where did you travel down from, Steve?
We live in Saddleworth, so we drove down on the day. I've got an older son as well, Daniel's older brother Tom. He lives in Putney, so we met him at Sutton Station, and we had a couple of drinks before the game, and then we stayed afterwards for an hour or so before his train, and we got home about 10:30. But it's one of those days where it was really, really, really worth it. It was a great performance. Did really well yesterday.
Yeah, let's talk about it. It was the sun was shining. A trip down to the capital, nice easy one for you, Andy. We've got Mickey Mellon lined up here. Well, the interview you did yesterday with Alan. I haven't got him sat next to me in my dining room or anything like that. But it was. I mean, I've seen a few things on Twitter and stuff that it was the best performance of the season. I'm not sure that it was. However, what a result! What a win! Andy, what was it like pitch side?
What performance was better this season for you?
I think the first half against Forest Green, I thought we were really, really good. I think based on the standard of the opposition, I didn't, because the thing was Sutton yesterday. I didn't think Sutton were great. I thought
no, but they were 9th before the start of play. So
I know, but I mean, no, they're no mugs. But I don't think that they really tested us. I just think that we've got to the point now where we've got players with such there's a composure, and don't get me wrong, I thought we played really well. I thought we played really well across the whole pitch. I thought there was standout performances from every player. I thought we were really, really good. Don't get me wrong, I'm not being negative. What I'm saying is, I don't think Sutton really gave us as much of a test as some of the other teams have, which is why I'm not sure it was the best performance of the season. However, I thought we were dead good yesterday.
They were very good. Yeah. That was, I mean, when I went on the Footballogy app, because I wanted to check that Steve was on there before I made that call a minute ago, I flicked through all the games I've been to in recent years, and I had to go back some way to get to a performance that I thought was as good as yesterday's. With my own eyes, that is, not on TV. I couldn't, I got back to that 5-1 win at Dorking, but we a couple of years ago, but we were absolutely rubbish in that game and probably shouldn't. We could have lost it.
Yeah, it was a weird result, that, wasn't it?
Yeah. So I went past that. So I'm going back to when we win the Football League before we've had a decent performance away. It was really good. I mean, they could have scored before we scored. We're a bit sloppy at the back, and all teams will create a chance or two. But in the main, like where you're saying they didn't look threatening, it was partly because we nullified their threat on most occasions. Manny Month was amazing again yesterday. Absolute man mounted. Nothing gets past him. he's shepherding the ball out. He's brilliant. Raglan had a good game. Will Sutton looked a bit nervy in the first half an hour for me. Probably could have done with releasing the ball a bit faster and getting caught. But throughout the day, they look great. The wide Kitchen and Ogle were great on the wide, the wide positions. That lad from Wigan, whoa,
did really well, didn't he?
If he does that every week, then he's going to be a player. You got to let's calm down after one game, but he looked lovely on the ball, didn't he?
Is he 19 years old and coming and make your debut like that away from home? Very, very good. He's obviously a very good player.
He looked really good, very simple, but made the right. It's all about decisions, isn't it? Like I had my mate there who's a Tottenham fan saying to me, because when they were close, he said they're all they're huge, like great big monsters, aren't they, in this league? They're big physical units, because it's not like they're not athletes and not fit and they're not professional, they don't train well. It's just that they don't make the right decision in the sort of final third. They make a wrong pass or they make a wrong run. Whereas the further up the ladder you go, they tend to make good decisions more often. But in terms of physical prowess, they're probably just as good as as players in League One in the main. But that's what that young lad from Wigan seemed to do. He made the right pass every time, or he made the right run every time. He just looked really good.
I tell you what made his job a lot easier yesterday, though, Andy, was that Conlon had a really, really good game. He
did. He did, and he looked great on the highlights reel because he was involved in everything on the highlights reel. That was one of his better games. I'm still overall not entirely convinced by Conlon because he blows hot and cold, and his legs. I don't know where his legs are gone. He's not got any pace, has he? And he sort of, I don't know whether he had.
I mean, I think what yesterday might have indicated is that he needs the right person alongside him.
Correct.
In order to make the game tick, and before writing, I know you're not writing him off, but I think
no,
you have to look at the development and the progression of Josh Lundstrom, who again yesterday was outstanding.
Brilliant.
Being played in the right position with the right players around him, just an incredible difference. So, and this is why I think that Mickey Mellon is bringing in players like he is, because I think he's obviously identified that he needs to have somebody else next to Lundstrom, next to Conlon, in order to make him tick over and do the things that he wants him to do. And yesterday was a really good example of it. Let's just ask for Stephen and Daniel, who you were pitch side. We've highlighted that everybody played well yesterday. It was a really good team performance, but who stood out individually to you two? First, Stephen, you first.
Yeah, it's a good question. That we were thinking about it, and you could name 4 or 5 players who stood out. Sometimes you don't get any. Sometimes you get 1 or 2. You've mentioned there Conlon, Lundstrom, Payne played well. Even a bit controversial maybe. Norwood came on. Was it 20 minutes or so to go?
Around that.
I think he played his best probably since the end of last year. He had some good touches, some good flick-ons. He looked interested. Practice it, warming up before the game. He looked a bit, lost a bit of weight, maybe a bit fitter. Thought he did really well. He had a shot that just went over the bar. We both love Norwood. We know that he's a good player. There's a good player in there. We know he sulks and things like that. But he could score us 20 goals between now and the end of the season. He did well. Manny the Mountain as well. And I think there's a lot of game management that we never used to have. Shepherding the ball out. There was a lot of that in the second half down at the right hand end where, we shepherded the ball out or covered the ball, passed it back to the goalie, cleared it well, and the running down the time. And in previous years, somebody would have got in behind and scored a goal, and it just didn't happen yesterday. It's so pleasing to see so much yesterday. Daniel.
Probably the same, a lot the same. Same about game management. I remember. Last season we were in the Football League for when we played Carlisle at home, and I think we were like either 1-0 up or it was 1-1, 89th minute. They had a corner very late on. I think it was I can't remember what we did. I know we messed up in midfield somewhere, came back, we got a corner. Well, they got a corner from it, and then we immediately conceded from it. So bit of game management there. Didn't really do anything with the ball there. Whereas yesterday, absolutely amazing. Same, it's been coming along last few seasons. First season National League, bit naff because we had Sheridan for a little bit. After that we had David Unsworth. He didn't really do much ever. But we had a few good games, that was it. And then more coming back to now. A really good game yesterday. like you said before, stand-up performances from a lot of players. But my man of the match probably would be Josh Lundstrom. He's come on along such a long way from the player who was just shy from playing in front of big crowds, even though I thought his best games were in front of big crowds like Chesterfield, Wrexham. Probably not Wrexham, I don't know. But I know Chesterfield, yeah. That's what I thought his best games were. But he's come along such a long way.
I think that's what we should touch upon is the point that you made there a minute ago, Matt, about he's signing players to fit into a system and a team, and also what he's done to players that he's got. I think you've got to start giving Mellon some serious credit here. If you start to look at the players that he's signed since he's been in control of signing players, you're not going to get everyone right, and some of them are going to come in and have to go out again. But actually, when you start to tot them up, most players that Mellon brings in make a difference. Most. And also some of the players that are here are getting better. Yeah. And I think that is a pretty good sign that he's a really good manager at this level, and he's starting to make some serious differences. And if we keep, and it's incremental changes, we're getting better and better all the time, and that team is gelling more and more as time progresses. I also think, I'm still convinced, I know I've heard about, he definitely had a bit of an injury because he didn't train again until Tuesday. I still think that's a bit of gamesmanship because Steve's right. I love Norwood as well. He looked superb when he came on for that 20-minute cameo there. Every touch, brilliant. Every run, brilliant. 3 attempts on goal. One of them went in. That volley that hit with his left foot, it was to get over it and keep it down was amazing. Load of quality. I reckon Mellon's got in his head. And that's what we're after. He's got in his head to say, if you are my gun striker, but if you want to start every week, you're going to have to start pulling your finger out because I've got about 4 or 5 players here that are in front of you at the minute. And that's
there is another great big juicy carrot dangling in front of James Norwood's face, and that's a trip to Tranmere in the FA Cup. Correct. And you saw that, and he's like, "Oh, hang on a minute," because I've said this before on the podcast. He thrives on the big games, the big occasions. That's what he wants. We've seen it when Chesterfield last season when he was that one of his best performances at Boundary Park. He's good. And Mellon, like you say, Andy, has got to get in his head to get him up for Sutton United away and Braintree at home and whoever, the games that he feels that maybe don't excite him, but and it seems to be working. And I think you're absolutely spot on. I'm a big fan of Mickey Mellon now at this stage. Absolutely, I think he's done a tremendous job. I think what you said about the players and the quality. He's also off the pitch. Like when we spoke to him, Andy, it wasn't very long ago, just before the start of the season. He's identified what needed to be done. I think when you look back, you mentioned, Daniel, about the last couple of seasons in the National League, and a lot of fans who may or may not be saying the same things now, but they were very negative about Mellon, and they were talking about the way that the season ended, and they were lumping in the way that the draws and saying, well, he's only won this many out of this many. Clearly, early on last season or within his time here, he identified that what was here wasn't going to get us out of the division, and that's not just on the pitch, but off the pitch and the way things were going, and a lot of potential. But he's like, look, if we're going to get out of this division, you need to listen to me. You need to do it. I need to bring people in off the pitch and on the pitch, and we need to get rid of certain players that are not going to play in this squad and blah, blah, blah. And he's had a plan, and he's obviously sat down with Darren, and they've worked it out, and they've started to bring the personnel in on and off the pitch, and it's starting to come together. And when Sutton scored yesterday, so early in the second half, it didn't bother me. I wasn't like, my head didn't go down and go, oh God, here we go. And the same for the players. And over the last couple of seasons, we've seen it time and time again. And you made some great points, Daniel, earlier on about some of those. How many late goals have we been giving away over the last couple of seasons? Where you can't manage the game, or if we concede, the heads go down. The game against Altrincham last season at home, where they had a man sent off and we were 2-0 up and we drew the game, things like that. Like, you can't see that kind of thing happening very often under Mellon. And look, we will lose games, but we've lost twice this season, once home, once away. And all right, you might say that a couple of draws too many, but at the end of the day, we're 4 points off the top. And I don't think we've anywhere near peaked in terms of what this team is capable of. So I'm absolutely delighted with the way things are going.
I've got a question for you. Would you consider talking to Josh Lundstrom about a contract extension now.
How long's he got left?
And at 25, summer gone.
Yeah, definitely.
Easily.
Definitely. Yeah.
And that I think is a sign of where we are, because I thought exactly the same on the way home last night. You know, there are a handful of players whose contracts are up at the same time. We don't know, of course, whether any or all of them have got an option. Sometimes
early for the squad pod, aren't they?
No, exactly.
October, yeah.
No, mad, isn't it? But I think because of his age, because of his potential, because of his resale value, because of the impacts he's having on a team, I think you probably would. You know, it's a bit like when we gave Nathan Sheeran a contract extension about this time last year, and everyone put their head in the round to go, "What are we doing?"
Can we just flip this? You know, so just the Sutton commentary team, I like to call him Fondup, but it might be Fondop. Did he get an extra year, Andy?
Yeah, he's 2025 as well. Yeah,
right. So I won't ask you, Andy, at this moment in time. But Stephen and Daniel, would you give Mike Fondup an extension on his contract at this stage in the season?
Well, in retrospect, like the last few seasons, considering he's got about 7-8 goals altogether in all competitions so far this season, whereas last season he got about just 10 in the league. I'd absolutely give it him, because when we need a goal, he's usually always involved in it if he's on the pitch. That's all I can say. He's usually always involved if he's on the pitch or something.
Yeah, and I would give him an extension as well. He can be frustrating, altering him away. Yeah, he missed that City. Well, it seemed like a sitter to us. He missed it, but he doesn't let his head go down. Yeah, would he be without wanting to mention that P word, next year, if we're in a different division, would we want him in that division? Would he play well? You look at the rest of the players on that pitch yesterday, and we were talking about it on the way home, and there's a lot of those who could play and do well in League Two. Not everybody, but they would, and some would be good at League One level as well. So yes, I would give him an extension now.
Absolutely not, Matthew. I mean, let me tell you, that is not to say that I wouldn't be prepared to give it. That I don't think he's earned the right to have a contract negotiation this season or towards the end of the season. I'm not saying that I wouldn't, but on this moment in time, right now, I definitely wouldn't, because you don't know what division we're going to be in. You don't know what form he'll be at the end of the season. This could be a purple patch that doesn't repeat itself. But he is in the team on merit, and I absolutely would not drop him at the minute. He deserves to start every week. He is affecting games. Yesterday, his goal. I mean, to be honest with you, if I was in net for Sutton United, I'd have expected to have saved it. Right. So let's calm down a bit on that. But the thing he did yesterday was he put himself about. He won a lot of headers. He was a handful. He was involved in the goals. He's laying off and pass. You know, he did everything right. You couldn't knock the boy. He was brilliant, and he really got stuck in. His attitude's fantastic. Everybody loves him. He loves us. You know, long may it continue. But I'm not giving him a contract extension in October. No,
unless of course he gets to the end of the season, Andy, and he's bagged 20 goals, and he's just, you know what I mean, because exactly, yeah, you know, I mean, he might well have earned it, and he's an integral part of the team, an integral part of the squad. And I think that sometimes, like, some players just find their place, their club, and you know, I'm hoping that a lot more of those players feel that way as well, because we've not had that for a long time. We've not had players who are, you know, we've had the transition, the turnover of players has been so high that you know, like by the time you finish having the favourite player's name printed on the back of your shirt, you're peeling it off again. It's that, you know, kids are, you know, I like such and such, and then he's gone Bahambula, and you know, you're flashing the pans. You know, players who had the odd good 15 minutes of fame for Latits, and then they've been shipped on. So, you know, whereas now I'm looking through that team and I've got a lot of time, a lot of respect for a lot of these players, and I'm enjoying watching this team develop and grow and start to turn into a team, and it's just completely different. Shall we listen to the main man, Mickey Mellon, and see what he has to say? First of all, I'd like to thank Alan Jones from the media team for letting us play these clips every week, because he did let us. I had a brief conversation with him a couple of seasons ago. I said, "Yeah, it's fine, play whatever you want." So there's nothing official, but this clip starts with Mickey Mellon smiling before he's even said anything. So that's nice. Let's have a listen.
Mickey, how dominant a win was that?
Oh, yeah, we're really, really pleased to come. This is a tough place to come. And when you look at it on the fixture list, you always know that it's going to be tough, and you have to be good at what the game's going to ask you. Get your head around that, show the right attitude, and get proper results like we did today. So I'm really, really pleased. The players showed a great attitude and got us a valuable 3 points.
Was that one of our most strongest performances of the season so far?
I don't know. I think we've played differently and been strong. I think we showed all the qualities that was needed in this type of game. Every game's different, Alan. That's the thing. This game was different to where it was during the week. At Solihull, and it was different against. It was the next game against. Who we playing next? Halifax. Different games. It's different games. You need to show different qualities, and I think today we were really, really good at showing the qualities that was needed to get a result today.
To come to a place like this and to perform so well and so impressively, how much credit do the players deserve for that?
All of it. I say it all the time. So I will never stand here and win, lose or draw, no say. At the end of the day, the players going to do the job. We can sort of organise them and say, look, when you get it, we'd like you maybe do that. When they've got it, we'd like you to be organised and go and do this. But at the end of the day, they cross the line and they go and put in the effort and put in the performance. So really, really pleased for the players, really pleased with the players. And again, to see the supporters and the players at the end is what it's all about. I mean, it's a lovely evening, and to see the supporters getting well-deserved moments like that, because it has been tough, is really pleasing.
Mike Fondop scored the first, but should we have been in front before then?
Yeah, I think I would always show respect to the opposition, but I think that we would probably say that we've probably had 5, maybe even 6 chances that we would be very disappointed that we don't take. But that's good. I mean, we're getting into the right areas, and we're creating the opportunities now, and we're able to mix our game up a wee bit and make you defend, because we've got good players that can do that. So no, we probably should have a little bit more, but that's probably been a bit greedy. But no, it was a satisfying performance.
We could have had more than 3, but how pleasing is that we're coming to places like this and actually creating as many chances?
Because this is as tough as a place as thanks very much, Dad. This is as tough a place as it is to come. You have to get an awful lot right to come here. You have to have the right attitude, because these will make you work very, very hard in order to try and get results. And like I say, I'm grateful that we were able to do that today.
And then Charlie Raglan and James Noah, 2 experienced players coming up with goals at crucial times.
Well, I think we were able to use the bench. You're only as good as your squad. We know that we've got a lot of travelling, and we know that we've got a lot of games in a short space of time. And to be able to, I'm so grateful that the players that come on were able to keep the performance going forward, able to get the boys off. Got a long journey home now, and we'll get ready again and organised again for Tuesday. But it was important that when we can rely on the bench in order to keep the energy levels or risk of getting another booking or an injury. We can take that away. So we're able to do that today. So I'm pleased.
A debut for young Kai Payne. How impressive was he?
I just said to me, I don't think he covered every blade of grass. He did exactly what we brought him here to do. He'll patrol in front of whatever shape that you play, defensive shape, and he'll break things up, and he'll get on it, and he'll play the game very, very easy. He's very, very good at what he's good at, and he's consistent at that. But you always know he's going to cover every blade of grass. He's going to be able to patrol in front of that defensive unit, and he's got an eye for a good pass, and he'll go and compete for you as well. So he was excellent today.
Just to finish off, a quick turnaround to Tuesday, another long trip, of course, but I guess it's just about retaining that focus. Yeah,
we won't get carried away, but we're delighted with now. We'll enjoy the moment. We'll enjoy the moment with the supporters. Supporters will enjoy the trip home. We'll get the lads up the road. We'll get them refreshed, ready to go again to travel on Monday. We'll go to Bisham Abbey, do a bit of training down there, and then get properly prepared for another tough game on Tuesday night and another go. I really value the 3 points. So it's relentless. You've just got to keep going.
Well done today.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay, a word for the supporters, I think. I know we've got quite a lot of Andy Halliwells down there in the Oasis lot. A lot of fans in the London area, but a lot of travel down. Stephen, Daniel, what did you make of the away supporters today? What was the atmosphere like, and what was the general mood in the stand?
It was really good mood, genuinely, considering how many. I think that was their biggest crowd they had this season, 3,400 something, and we brought about 400-500 of that. So, I mean, we were in a little tiny stand, so if you could call it a stand, that is. But yeah, it was a really good atmosphere there. Yeah,
you were right. You were right below the camera operator and the mic, and you could hear Latics fans all the way through the game. So.
And Frank was there as well, wasn't he, in the middle of us all at the front?
Did you watch the whole game from that stand?
I only saw him in the second half. I'm not sure where he was in the first half.
Yeah, I remember seeing him walk past us in the first half, so I think it was
at half time. Yeah. No, it was good. One thing, just to go back to what Mickey Mellon said, I think something else that's worked in our favour this season is the 7 subs and being able to have 5. And because we've got a bigger squad, it gives us so many different options. If somebody's tiring or not playing well, and we've got a much better bench this season as well. So if it needs changing, we can change it. And he does make some really good substitutions. And yesterday, I'm sure there were some people who were injured, but there were players like Khan and Hammond who weren't even on the bench. And I think they were warming up before the game. So they weren't injured. We've got a much bigger and better squad as well. Absolutely, 100%. I mean, when you think back to, I know it's going back a little bit now, but you think back to that last season in League Two when Sheridan came in, and he came back, and we had those first couple of games with our first 11. We literally had like a first 11. We didn't even have, as soon as somebody went down, or we had nobody to bring on, that the strength in depth was absolutely non-existent. And whereas now, we're having to get rid of players like Alex Reid, who peaked last week with his hat-trick in the FA Cup. I don't know if he played, to be fair, or whatever yesterday, but the Wealdstone are really struggling this season. And, he's gone. We've had to make room. Liam Hogan yesterday. I watched the Rochdale Southend match yesterday afternoon. He made his first start. Rochdale lost 1-0. It wasn't particular. I mean, they were all over Southend in the first half, but second half it was a bit. I certainly wouldn't fear Rochdale, but I tell you what, I am bloody looking forward to going to Scotland in a few weeks' time.
That's a good point, because some of these games coming up now, if we can come through some of these games competing, Rochdale away, Barnet away, Tranmere away in the cup. There's some big games. I know we got Maidenhead on Tuesday, which I'll be going to. But there's
and then Dagenham in it then the week after, and then it's the cup, and then it's Barnet. So I fancy that the 2 games, Maidenhead, pretty straightforward win there last season. We've got Dagenham, who I think we beat 4-2 last season, I think, if I remember rightly, and at home. So I'm fancying us to pick up 6 points before we break for the FA Cup.
I'd say it was interesting as well was Barnet losing at Solihull last week, who obviously turned us over. Like I said, in that weird expected goals for and against thing, Solihull appear quite high in that. Barnet, Solihull, and you can kind of see why they're grinding results out. So maybe we didn't play well against Solihull, I know, but it maybe not the worst. I mean, if you look at us now, you're looking at your green ticks. With something like 7 out of 8 wins in all competitions, and that's the first time we've gone on a run like that in a very long time. So it feels like a corner's been turned properly, and you never know. We're only 4 points off the top now after Barnet losing yesterday. I think Barnet's manager had another strange rant at their players for losing. So I don't know whether their bubble will burst and we can get on a bit of a roll. You never know, do you? It could be a really, really exciting end to the season, however it ends up. But I'm confident we're going to be in the playoff mix at the very least. So, yeah, this is shaping up to be decent, isn't it? I'm enjoying it.
but the teams around us, they've all been doing well recently. It was good to see Barnet lose. It was good to see Rochdale lose and Gateshead drew. Previously, they've all been winning, haven't they? And we noticed on the way home, I think York are playing Barnet this weekend as well.
They are. That's right. Yeah. So one of them's losing points. Yeah.
Exactly right. Right.
Yeah, Daniel, is this at this stage in the season, in your experience of supporting Latics, is this as good as you've ever felt about a Latics team?
Definitely, because I've got some air over the last 3 seasons we've been in the National League. It's our best start. So the first season we had 4 wins, 4 draws, 6 defeats, 16 points. Second season, 4 wins, 6 draws, and 4 defeats, 18 points. And then I've got 7 wins, 5 draws, and 2 defeats, which is 26 points. And it doesn't show me very well in these seasons, but we were around. I know we ended up finishing around 10, 12, around there, those last 2 seasons. And I definitely feel it's the better start the best start that I've seen of a season, pretty much ever.
There was one of the lads in the Oasis group, apparently, obviously based down here, he's got a mate who's a Sutton fan who was in Sutton end, and apparently he sent him a message afterwards saying, best team I've seen us play this season. So,
Sorry. That leads me on to what I was just about to ask you, Andy, because we are now in the table where you and I both predicted would finish early on at the start of the season. I was thinking about this today. I think we'll probably at Christmas time do another prediction, because obviously we've signed a lot of players that we've not seen play and everything else. So, but we'll do another prediction come Christmas time. But we are where we imagined we'd finish at this moment in time. But we mentioned the P word. We were talking before. I was talking to Stephen before the start and Daniel about the P word. Obviously, standing for promotion. I was thinking about what the P word would have meant in the past for Latics. It was things like pessimism and piss poor and things like that. Do you think that we are where we will finish, Andy, or is this team capable of taking that one and only automatic promotion place? What do you think, Andy? And I'll ask Stephen and Daniel.
Well, I didn't think we were good enough to win it at the start of the season, and I'm still not convinced we are. We're certainly not like a Wrexham or a Chesterfield have been in previous seasons, where there's or Notts County running away with it, points in front. So we're not going to do that, I don't think. You never know if you go on a run, but there's definitely good signs that this team is starting to gel. It's definitely difficult to beat. We don't concede a lot of goals very often. An odd game here and there, we ship a couple, but in the main, we're pretty tight. So if we score a couple of goals in a game, we should be picking up points. And, he keeps adding players to it that are making a difference. And that's what I mean about Mickey Mellon's signings. He's bringing players in, and, Drummond looks a handful. He could have scored yesterday before we did, with a chance.
Yeah, the Sutton's media team didn't put that on the highlights. Actually, I did notice that, and then they put in something else. Sutton are on top of just before before we scored.
Yeah,
we had a couple of good chances, didn't we?
Yeah, there was a couple of passages of play before we scored where we put about 25 passes together, and it wasn't just like 18 of them along the back three. We were genuinely passing through the lines. That's the thing that we've been called about. Instead of humping it forward, just hopefully, we were passing the ball on the floor through the lines.
But we do use that long ball effectively as well. We see we play we are direct. We get it up front, and then we compete for it, and then we make something of the ball in the final third, which is nice.
If you're going to do that, I mean, Joe Royal's teams did that. Let's be brutally honest.
I've got no problem with it at all. But it has to. We've said it before on this podcast, haven't we? But if you're going to hit it long, there has to be a strategy for
to pick the second ball. You've got to be prepared to sit
and so we mix it up a bit now, don't we? Where we are direct, but we also play the ball through it. So it is great to see. Yeah.
But there was passing on the floor through the lines, and that was allowing some players to find a pocket in between the midfield and the defence and to run at them, and that just made it, So 25 passes, pass moves before goals, yeah. But the original question: Can we win it? Can we win it? Can we win it?
Based on the fact that there are no Chesterfields, Wrexhams in this division this season, so.
Yeah, yes, I think we can win it. Yes, I think we can win it. We're definitely in with a chance, no doubt about it. Do I think at this moment in time we will? No, I think we might miss out. I think we might finish I think, I might upgrade my 4th and 5th position finish to 2nd or 3rd, but I think we might miss out. But it might not be Barnet. It might be Forest Green of the team that you've got to chase.
Stephen?
If you'd asked me a month ago, I would have said we'll finish top 5. Now, I think there's 4 teams, and there's 4 teams that are going to go for it. And if they carry on, and that's Barnet, York, Forest Green, and us. I think it's going to be between those 4. And the important things are going to be going on a run like we're on, but it's how do we do against those teams as well. So we've already beaten Forest Green. And whilst that was a great performance from us, to be fair, I thought they were the better team. But when you win against a good team, how good does that make you feel? So I'm going to go top 3, but it could be top 3. I'm going top 3.
Daniel.
Going on what you said about the Forest Green game, loved hearing his interview after that game. Everything he blamed against it. Yeah.
Well, the thing is about that performance against Forest Green is the first half we really took the game to them and were impressive in that respect. And then the second half, we defended well and we hung out and we kept it together. And I think from my point of view, with if we're capable of winning it or not, it's like every other team in the division. You need a bit of luck. We need that back 3, back 4, back 5, whatever, to stay fit. And we need Manny Month to stay fit. We need Raglan to stay fit. Because it's those kind of things. You need a bit of luck. But then again, touching on what you've said, Andy, this we've mentioned a lot over the last few seasons about the use of the loan market. Mickey Mellon will be aware and will no doubt have eyes on, when the rest of his scouting team will have eyes on players that should the worst case scenario happen and maybe we lose a player, a really important player for a spell. Somebody will have to come in. But this is exactly the same as it is across the division. Every team in this division will be crossing their fingers, hoping that they don't lose one of their key players. And our squad, is looking good. It's but there are key positions where, like I said, particularly at the back, that we need to keep fit, and we'll just have to hope and see that happens. But go on, see.
So, Regan Ogle, what a player he is! What a player he is. He missed 2 or 3 games at the beginning of the season. It was like, I don't know, he wasn't dropped because he wasn't playing well. It was just the system they were playing. Since both him and Kitch had come back in, they've made a massive difference as well. And not just his throw-ins, he wins headers, he goes forward. He's a wing back. Kitch is a wing back. His throw-ins, it's like, there were a few times yesterday, they kicked it out for a throw-in, and you're thinking, actually, this is as good as a corner. And him and Kitch, they brought it on as well. Yeah,
I really like him. As much as anything, and that's the thing with the players that are coming in now. It's their attitude. It's the way that they play the game. It's their determination, their persistence, and I think he epitomises it. Regan Ogle. He just works so hard all game. Really gets involved. Wants to be on the ball. Like players who want the ball, which is great, because we've had players that just couldn't wait to get rid of it over the last few seasons. You give them the ball, they're either unfit or they it's a hot potato. They just don't want it. Ogle wants to get on the ball. Will Sutton wants to get on the ball. I think him coming back into the team has been a breath of fresh air. I was wondering at what point he was going to feature, and he's come in now because he offers something different to Hobson. And it's just really, really encouraging. It's very, very strange, this, isn't it, Andy? Just this feel good factor.
That's exactly what I was thinking. So I'm enjoying it because I hope we've earned it. Like the years of purgatory that we've had to put ourselves through. And
you know what though, and it is great to enjoy it, but like, seasons like this, and this is what we're going to have to get used to or get prepared for, because we're building ourselves up slowly. We're talking about, can we win the league? We're sitting in 5th place. We've got these big games coming up, and then it can all come especially in this division, it can all come crashing down, can't it? Like, we might miss out on automatic promotion by a point. We might go into the playoffs. We might win the playoffs, or we might then lose in the playoffs, and then it's just like, and you've got that crushing. But it's, to have that to look forward to is a great feeling, because that's football, that's sport. You know what I mean? It's that's why the highs in this game are so great, because they come around so bloody few and far between.
Well, especially for us.
Especially for us. I mean, talking to Stephen, who actually remembers the the promotion before the last promotion. Like, you got to enjoy 2, and I'm no spring chicken, and I've only enjoyed 1. So, you know what I mean? It's same
3
as you,
actually. I think when I first started, we were in the 3rd division. We got relegated to the 4th, so we won the 4th division in 70-71. And that was the year that we won the Ford Sporting League, that paid for the Ford stand that became the Lucas stand. Scored lots of goals, didn't get many people booked. So you just reminded me 3 promotions I've seen. Sorry,
stop showing off, Steve. Stop showing off. Right, let's put. Are you going to work on this as a double act? Let's put them through their Latics mind paces and see how they get on with new and old. Yeah,
Paul Prendergast, he's number 7 on the Latics list as well.
Yeah, I'm sure he is. Yeah, he does a lot of games, and he is the man who's written these questions.
Yeah. Thanks to my mate Buzzer for the Latics Mind theme tune. Good luck, Stephen and Daniel. Here we go.
Thank you.
Who was Latics' last FA Cup 3rd round tie against?
Liverpool.
Wrong. It was Bournemouth in 2021. Newish grounds. Who scored Latics' first ever goal at Colchester United's new stadium?
Mark Allott.
Chris Taylor. In October 1986, Latics played the winners of that season's FA Cup in the League Cup, losing 2-1. Who was it?
Wimbledon.
Coventry City. Which Hungarian centre-back did Latics loan from Plymouth in 2009-2010?
Vladimir Smodic.
Yeah. Christian Timar. Upsets. Who scored Latics winner at West Ham in the League Cup in November 2002?
You're looking at me like we should know that, but...
Ian Dowie was manager. Beat West Ham at West Ham, 1-0.
No, can't remember his name. Go on.
Pass. Carlo Corazin. Who was sent off at Leicester in February 2009, meaning that Dean Windass took over in goal?
Pass.
Latics have won league titles in 1991 and 73-74. Which other season have they won a title in?
Was it 50? Was that a 52-3? 52-3.
Correct. What has been Latics' biggest win this century?
Talking away 5-1.
It was Celebration Sunday, 6-0 at home against Grimsby. Right. You had 2 passes. I might have given you one of the answers, actually, which was Carlo Corazin. Do you not remember Carlo Corazin in the league?
Yeah, I was thinking of the... Oh, no. Wayne Andrews, I was thinking that was the name I was struggling for. I thought it was him.
Yeah. And the other pass was, who's our goalkeeper in 2009? Matt, any idea?
Pogs.
No, it wasn't. Just after Pogs. It was...
Gary Fleming?
It was Gary Fleming, yeah.
Wasn't one of them who got the player who got sent off?
Yeah, that was him. Who was the goalkeeper?
Oh, is it the goalkeeper who got sent off?
Yeah. Because for Dean Windass to go in net, the left winger don't get sent off, does he?
Yeah, no, I remembered it. I remember the game. Yeah, he saved a penalty, didn't he?
He did, yeah. Gary Fleming, yeah.
So
you got one.
Well, one's better than none.
It is. It's the taking part that counts, and you won't be bottom. So that's all that matters.
But there are 2 here, so
we get 2.
Yeah, so half each. It don't matter, does it? I mean, at the end of the day, Latics are 5th and well in the mix, and that's all that any of us really care about.
That's true.
Exactly.
So yeah, what? So Maidenhead. I think I've finally got it, Andy. I think I've finally established that it's Maidenhead,
not Maidstone.
Maidstone. I got really. I think I've finally got it. I think because I went there last season, that helps. But so
hopefully you'll never have to get it again after, because I'm going on Tuesday, and this will be the 3rd time I've been to Maidenhead. All 3 seasons been in this league. I do not want to have to go there again.
Yeah, Daniel.
It's going on about where I think we'll finish this season. I could probably see us finishing around 4th, 3rd-ish. It just depends how Gateshead adapt with the new manager, and if they do what they always do, which is just end up going on and just winning a lot of games.
Yeah. I mean, it can't be good for them to keep losing managers. Like, once the season's on. I mean, it's not. It can't be something that they just, we can adapt to this every time. It's not going to keep working for them. So, look, I genuinely now feel that we don't need to worry about anybody else. And I know for a fact Mickey Mellon won't be worried about anybody else, and the players won't be worried about anybody else. They'll just be doing what they're doing, one game at a time. I am really confident that we'll go down to Maidenhead on Tuesday and take 3 points. I think because we're better than Maidenhead, and I think this is the thing with this now. On occasion, there's going to be teams that can outperform us. Solihull, like you said, Andy, Solihull are no mugs. They were, they went all the way last season to the playoffs. They'll do it again this season. They'll be in and around. They'll be up there somewhere. They might not finish in the playoffs, but they'll certainly be challenging, I think, at some point. Aldershot, can on their day put in a good performance. We've seen it. I don't see Maidenhead as one of those teams. I think we're just better than them, and I think that we'll go down and do the job. And we will come unstuck against teams who, on the day, are capable of being better than we are. Obviously, there's teams like Barnet, but we have a good record down there. Dagenham, they put 7 past Gateshead, so we'll have to be, you'll have to be aware of them. But we are now, I think, at this stage in the season. People are always saying, "Oh, I'll give them 10 games," aren't they? And we're past that now. I think it's fair to say, with some confidence, based on the squad that we've got, the players we've got, the manager we've got, and all the things that go in our favour, we are one of the better teams in the division. So, I think that we, as a result of that, we'll win more games than we lose, and hopefully then we draw. So, when we have the phone in on Wednesday, I fully expect us to be talking about another win. Are we all agreed on that? Are we all as confident as I am, or am I just getting a bit cocky and blasé now?
There's no wrong with being cocky. We've got to make the most of it while we can. We'll be there as well, so we'll look out for you, Andy. You might see us. Daniel will have that shirt on, and I'll be the only one there in shorts.
That's weird. Actually, just looking out the window, and it's now blue skies. Are we supposed to be having a storm, Ashley, today or something? I've seen on there's supposed to be a storm coming. Maybe this is quite before the storm. It's a beautiful day again now. So. I
was playing football earlier, and it was very windy and very wet, rainy. So hopefully it's passed already.
Yeah, hopefully. So is it, Andy? Is there any other news we touched on before the tragic news of Matt Smith's baby?
Yeah,
extremely sad news.
I actually didn't know he was a relation of the Bruces until that happened.
No.
But no, that's sad. Yeah, no, I haven't got anything else to add other than I'm absolutely delighted that Tranmere is on a Saturday, because I'm going to do my utmost to get up for it.
Look, we mentioned it a couple of weeks ago on the podcast about the importance of getting past Halifax, because there were some people that were putting out there, we just need to concentrate on the league, don't worry about play a slightly lesser team against Halifax, whatever. I'm glad we did what we did. We went out, we beat them in the first half, and now we've got the rewards. This is what it's all about. When we've been down, you mentioned, Andy, a couple of minutes ago about third trip to Maidenhead. There's not when the fixtures came out this season, there was very, very few that we were looking at with any kind of excitement as to, we're looking forward to that one. And now we've got Tranmere away. This is what we want. We'll fill it. We'll fill the away end at Tranmere. Absolutely no doubt about that. I would imagine quite a few of them will turn up and all, because they're having a poor time with it in the league, and they'll want to do us over. Mickey Mellon's coming back, so I fancy it's going to be quite a good crowd. 15 quid a ticket for adults, so I think it's going to be a good occasion, and I'm really, really looking forward to it. Thank goodness we made it into this draw, and then I fancy us to go there. You know, a team that's doing well in the National League against a team that's not doing well in League Two.
Yeah,
every chance that we'll. Yeah, and it has to be settled on the day as well. So, as much as we sort of decried the banning of replays at this level, it would be nice to go there and win by hook or by crook on the day.
It would. I mean, it's a shame replays don't exist. I mean, just a 10p point about Maidenhead. I know you know this, but if you look at the form table in the last 5 games, the top 3 teams are Barnet, us, and Forest Green have all taken 2.4 points per game over that 5-game series. Maidenhead are just behind us in 2.
Right.
So they've actually been in a bit of form. They're down the lead, but they've actually just picked up and found a bit of form. I don't think
we're better. But we're better than them, aren't we?
I'd like to think we'll go there and at least pick up a point, but hopefully pick up 3. Yeah.
I think after. Go on, Steve.
I was going to say, after his 20-minute cameo, if you can call it that, at the end, I'd start with Knowles on Tuesday.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
Yeah,
and I think frustration comes when you're a fan, when if we do pick up a point or we don't win on Tuesday night, you look at, well, Sutton's the tougher game, and you go there and you win 3-1. So and as much as you say, yeah, you take 4 points on the road over a couple of days, like once you've done the business like we did on Saturday against Sutton, you kind of expect them to go and do it again. And what a position to be in! What a great feeling it is to be expecting our team to go out and do the business on Tuesday night against Maidenhead. So fingers crossed, it will be a maximum haul from these 2 games. Don't like to mention, we mentioned the P word. I don't want to mention the C word too early, but I'm going to say Quizmas instead of the C word. We've got our Quizmas party on Sunday, the 15th of December at Billington's in Oldham. Dave is putting together a quiz. We'll have prizes and music and food and all that. Tickets are available on our shop. Andy, are you going to be able to make it up to Oldham on the 15th of December?
I'll need to check. The diary. I can't be sure. I'd like to think so, but there's a lot going on around Christmas time, so I'll do my best. It just reminded me though. What made me grin was I picked the program up yesterday, and I was flicking through the program. Of course, you and I know that often opposition supporters, podcasts contact us, and vice versa. Sometimes they come on the phone in and all that sort of stuff. And Sutton had contacted us a few weeks ago, and we messaged in the group, who's going to do this one? And Dave did it. So I flicked open the program yesterday to find Dave in the program. Sexy Dave Bradley.
Oh no!
God,
did you get a pro? Have you got a copy of it?
I've got it. Yeah, I've got a copy of it. I'll take a picture of it and send it to you. I was like, oh my God.
Dude.
So, but anyway, if anyone's reading nonsense from Dave, but if anyone's looking forward to a decent read, I'll promote now the Tranmere podcast that got in contact with us, and we're doing a written piece for the Tranmere program. But Arlene's doing it, so it'll be well crafted and beautiful to read.
The grown up of the group. Thank God for that. Yeah. And listen, let's give a shout out to Arlene, who is currently in Naples, I believe, but and still making sure that the blog comes in, does it every week, does a really, really good write-up of this week in the blog. It was not just the first team's endeavours, it was the under-18s, it was the women's team, a really good balance. She actually sits down and thinks about stuff rather than like me and Dave. And I mean, you're somewhere in the middle, Andy, really just spouting out rubbish. The first things that come into our head, but yeah, the most articulate and well read of the group. So thanks to Eileen for all her efforts. And Stephen and Daniel, before we finish, have you got anything you'd like to add or anything you'd like to say?
Thanks very much for letting us both come on. That is really much appreciated. Thank you. We do listen to the podcast every week, and it always makes us smile. One day I might get 2 questions right on the Latics mind. I never know. But thank you. and you keep us all going. You offer the podcast is brilliant for a club like Latics. What you two guys do is brilliant. Thank you.
No, thanks very much.
And more than you two, as you said, but predominantly you two on the podcast. That's great.
No, we appreciate it, and we're just happy to be having a good season to talk about. This is our 5th season, Andy, and it's definitely the most enjoyable on the football front, and not just on the football front, just generally. It's just far better, and it's great to have you on. It's great to have somebody who has seen 3 promotions and somebody who has seen you've got it all to look forward to, Daniel. Let's put it that way. Yeah. So keep the faith. That phrase might just be coming back into some kind of significance. I think with Latics, it kind of it was reclaim the faith, push the boundary, cleverly, sort of put a spin on it. But yeah, I think faith and fond up. We God's number 9.
Yeah,
we're nearly there. Go on. You want to say something, Stephen, don't you? I can see.
You're right. 2 more things. Frank, where would we be without Frank and his family and everybody who's come along with that? We've just got to say so many thanks to Frank and his family for what they've done. It's not just it's the whole club, hasn't it? It's taken such a positive vibe onwards and upwards. It's nearly 2.5 years now, isn't it? But where would we be without Frank and his family? And you see him at all the away games. Him and Judith are there, smiling, happy faces. We saw them yesterday waving to each other from one side of the ground to the other. And the other point was, crowds have been about 5.5 at home this season. Wouldn't it be good next home game and the one after that to see it pushing 6 and then 7? Can understand. It's, it pay on the day. It is expensive, but we're on a good run. Let's try and see a few more fans come along as well. If you do try it once or twice, you'll enjoy it. The atmosphere is always great, isn't it? As well as on the pitch, it's better than it has been for a long time.
Yeah, it's definitely all getting there, isn't it? And like Mickey Mellon said to us at the beginning of the season, Andy, the turnaround that they've achieved it is a short space of time. I know a lot of us wanted it to be instant, but that was never going to happen. I think they're making great progress. But at the end of the day, it's all about getting that promotion. It's all about getting out of this division, and Frank and family have put a lot of money in. They need to reclaim some of it. You know what I mean? They haven't got a limitless pot. They've got other businesses to support, etc., etc. So to get out of this division and to get past Tranmere, get a nice easy draw in the second round, and then get a nice big payday in the third round of the FA Cup. That's the thanks that they need as well. From the money gods. But until then, we'll just have to rely on God's number 9 to keep doing the business, and number 30 to start scoring regularly again, and it's all going in the right direction. So, Stephen, Daniel, thanks very much for joining us. It's been really good to talk to you. Andy, thank you very much indeed, as always. Let's play out on God's number 9 very own tune.
God's number 9 scores all the time. He is divine.
He's God's number 9.
Dave, do you fancy some GN9 merch?
Yes, please.
Go to the shop on our website, weareoldham.co.uk.
God's number 9 scores all the time. He is divine.
He's God's number 9.
We've got t-shirts. We've got mugs.
He's God's number 9.